It's Sunday night. You're scrolling through the ghost light of your phone, and a cold, silent dread begins to creep in. Another week gone, vanished into the ether. Or maybe it's your birthday, and a thought you didn't invite crashes the party. What have I actually done? The question, am I wasting my life, feels like a judgment. A gavel strike from an invisible judge, and you are guilty. This feeling is a symptom of a modern disease. A disease of perceived emptiness, of frantic, pointless motion. It feels like a clock is ticking down to zero, a clock you can hear but cannot see, and you haven't even figured out the rules of the race, let alone started running. But what if the clock is an illusion? What if that feeling of dread is not a judge's verdict, but a GPS trying desperately to recalibrate? The problem isn't that you're wasting your life. The problem is that you are asking the wrong question and using a corrupted map. Today, we are not going to answer that question. We're going to dismantle it. Chapter 1. The productivity myth, the factory of you. You feel like you're wasting your life because you've been taught to measure it with a broken ruler. The modern world is obsessed with the cult of productivity. It has programmed you from a young age to view your life as a factory. The goal of this factory is to maximize output, eliminate downtime, and run the assembly line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Every moment of rest, of play, of quiet contemplation is labeled on a mental spreadsheet as inefficient, a waste. You feel guilty for relaxing because you have internalized the factory owner's bottom line as your own soul. But you're not a factory, you are a garden. A factory that is not producing is failing. But a garden that is not producing in winter is not failing. It is doing exactly what it is supposed to do. It is gathering strength in a fallow period. Your life needs seasons. It needs periods of input and learning. It needs periods of fallowness and rest. It needs periods of unstructured play, just as much as it needs periods of output and harvest. The cult of productivity only recognizes the harvest, and so it has trapped you in a perpetual anxious winter, where you are always behind schedule, always failing to meet a quota that was never real. You're not wasting your life. You are trying to score points in a game that was designed from the beginning to make you feel like you are perpetually behind. It's time to throw away the scoreboard. Chapter 2. The Time Traveler's Illusion, Your Brain's Corrupted Clock. The feeling of wasted time is not a direct perception of reality. It is a cognitive illusion, a phantom created by the strange, glitchy quirks of your own memory. Psychologist and Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman identified a critical bug in our mental software, the peak-end rule. Your brain does not remember your life like a continuous, minute-by-minute film. It doesn't have the storage for that. Instead, it takes cognitive shortcuts. It remembers two things: the emotional peaks, the most intense moments, good or bad, and the end of the experience. This is why a week of steady, productive, but routine work can feel like nothing happened. If there was no high-intensity peak, your memory registers a flat line. It's a memory glitch. Your memory is not a historian, it is a dramatist. And it finds a stable, consistent life to be a terribly boring story. And what about that ache of regret? Neuroscience shows us that regret didn't evolve to punish you for your past. Regret is a powerful, future-oriented simulation tool. When you feel regret over a path not taken, your brain is running a simulation. What if I had acted differently? It's not trying to make you feel bad. It is a free strategy consultant, providing you with invaluable data on how to make a better choice next time. The feeling of a wasted life is your brain's way of telling you that it is time to run a new simulation for the future. Chapter 3. The Alignment Gap, the True Source of the Ache. So if it's not the clock and it's not really our past, where does this ache come from? This is the core diagnostic. The paralyzing feeling of wasting your life is the friction burn created by a profound misalignment between your daily actions and your deepest core values. Reframe the feeling entirely. It is not a verdict on your soul. It is a critical warning light on your internal dashboard. The light is flashing because the engine of your life, the sum of your daily actions, is not moving the vehicle towards the destination you have secretly programmed into your navigation, your values. Think of it as a form of vibrational dissonance. Your core values, let's say they are creativity, connection, and health, vibrate at a high, clear, powerful frequency. Your daily actions, endless scrolling, meaningless consumption, avoiding challenges, vibrate at a low, muddy, chaotic frequency. The painful, anxious feeling of wasting your life is the sound of that dissonance. It is the friction burn between the person you are in your moment-to-moment actions and the person you know you could be. Chapter 4. The gravity of comfort, the resistance. So now you have the diagnosis. You see the gap. You know the life you're living doesn't align with the life you value. So why is it so hard to just change? Why can't you simply close the gap? Because you are fighting against an invisible, fundamental force of the universe, the gravity of comfort. Your current life, no matter how unfulfilling, has a powerful gravitational pull. It is the dense, heavy comfort of the known, the predictable, the easy. Your desired life, the one aligned with your values, is a distant planet. To get there, your life must achieve escape velocity. And escape velocity requires a massive, initial burst of energy to break free from the familiar orbit. This is where the ancient toddler brain, your limbic system, rears its head. The toddler does not want to go to a new planet. It likes it here. It knows where the snacks are. Its prime directive, written into its code over millions of years, is to conserve energy and avoid the unknown, because the unknown might contain danger. The intense friction you feel when you try to do something new and difficult isn't a sign that you're on the wrong path. It is the roar of your ancient survival software screaming, danger, aberration, return to what is safe and easy. This force, this pull of the past, is the resistance, and it will fight you every step of the way. Chapter 5. Recalibration Protocol, the Architect's Toolkit. So how do you generate the escape velocity needed to break free from this powerful gravity of comfort? You don't do it with one giant, heroic, and unsustainable launch that is doomed to fail. You do it with small, consistent, and strategically timed engine burns. You use an architect's toolkit. Step 1. The values audit. Define your North Star. You cannot know if you're on the wrong path if you don't have a map. Forget vague goals. Define 3 to 5 core, guiding values. Not get rich, but financial security. Not get a promotion, but meaningful work. Not lose weight, but physical vitality. These are your non-negotiable compass points. Step 2. The time inventory, the brutally honest data. For 1 week, track where your time and attention actually go. Be ruthless. Be honest. This is not for judgment, it's for data. 4 hours a day on social media. 10 hours a week watching TV you don't even like. You cannot fix a leak in your system until you know where the energy is going. Step 3. The 1% realignment, the 1-degree turn. Do not try to overhaul your life in one weekend. It will fail under the weight of the resistance. Instead, look at your 2 lists. Pick one value that is most deeply misaligned with your time inventory. And then, introduce one tiny 2-minute action that begins to close the gap. Is your value creativity? But you spent 0 hours creating? Your new action is, open a notebook and write 1 sentence. That's it. You are the captain of a massive ship. You cannot control the storm, but you can audit your current coordinates, confirm your destination, and make a single, almost imperceptible 1-degree turn of the rudder. Over a voyage of 1,000 miles, that 1-degree turn changes the continent you land on. Let's synthesize. The game of productivity you've been forced to play is unwinnable. Your brain is a flawed historian of your own past. The true source of that deep, gnawing pain that you are wasting your life is the gap between what you do every day and what you deeply value. The resistance to change is not a personal failure, but a biological gravity we must overcome. And the solution is not a violent revolution. It is a quiet, conscious, tiny course correction. So, am I wasting my life? Is the wrong question. It is a passive, backwards-looking question that invites only judgment and despair. It's time for a new question. The only question that matters. What story am I choosing to write with the hours I am given today? Stop being a prisoner of a clock that isn't real. Stop being a judge of a past you can't change. Become the architect of your future. Your life is not a resource to be wasted or saved. It is a canvas. It is a block of marble. It is an unwritten page. Pick up the brush.